Hi there, it's Tanya. It's Thursday, it's noon. We're continuing with my gut health series. And yes, welcome to part 4 of this series where I'm going to be talking about why your gut might be hurt at the moment, what you can do to start improving it or to support it, and baby steps to take forward on how you can support your gut when you get to a healthy stage. So welcome to today. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds. I know the videos take a little bit of a while to start pulling through on the page. So just as I wait for more people to log on, please just say hi in the comment section. Go and put in your name. Also just write where you're from. And then yes, today we're talking specifically about the very first steps you can start taking to heal your gut. And if you missed parts 1, 2, and 3 of my gut health series, please go back and rewatch them, or even recap if you want to go through the information again. It's in my YouTube channel. There's a playlist specifically for my gut health talks, and I'll put the link for that in the comment section after today's live, just so there's some easy access for you to get to that. So if you've just joined, welcome. Thank you for joining part 4 this week. Remember just to drop a comment and let me know where you're from. And also, if you have any particular or specific questions you would like to ask today, as I go through the information of the small baby steps you can start taking towards healing your gut and supporting it for a healthier you. All right, so if you've just joined, yes, there we go. I can see some more people coming on. I'm just going to give it another couple of seconds as people are logging into the live, for them to be able to hear the beginning part of this talk today as well. So yeah, pop me a comment, send me some hearts, let me know where you're from. And as I asked, yes, please let me know as I go through the talk today, because there might be some time at the end for me to answer your questions. Let me know if there's anything particular that you would like addressed. And if we don't have time for that today, then we are definitely going to address them in next week's session. Okay, so parts 1, 2, and 3 were very much a little bit about background. So the first one, in part 1, we more people joining in. Welcome Daniel, welcome Yolandi. Part 1, we talked about why. So it's my why, number 1, on why I talk about gut health and why I'm so exceptionally passionate about it. It is a health challenge that I have dealt with for quite some time, probably most of my life, and I think it's probably in the only last couple of years that I've been able to address this health challenge by going the more natural route and actually doing some in-depth research on trying to figure out how I could get myself to a path of healing. And the reason I needed to do that is obviously because on normal lab results or normal doctor's visits, I'm a perfectly fit person, clean bill of health. And I knew, I mean, you can feel when you're not well. Right, so that was part 1. And then part 2 and 3, we sort of talked about how to stop the bleeding and what the bleeding involved. So literally everything we're doing on a daily basis with the amount of toxins that we are taking in, together with the good food and everything else that we're doing, we are bombarded with chemicals and toxins. And I shouldn't just say chemicals, because remember, all things are chemicals and energies, and even natural plants have chemicals in them. So I should rather say toxins. So it's the toxins that we're bombarding ourselves with on a daily basis. We are living a very different lifestyle now compared to 100 or 200 years ago. So basically, Yolandi is saying she has no sound. Daniel, please can you let me know in the comment section, have you got sound? Please just pop a comment in there, because then it might mean that I need to change a setting on my live. If there's anyone else that's on there, if you can hear me, just pop me in the comments and say, yes, please, I have sound, or no, I have no sound. That's the only way I'll be able to know whether it is just the one person who hasn't got sound. Daniel's got sound. Yolandi, might be your internet connection. Maybe. We are in South Africa. We are dealing with those undersea cables. Please just check your volume, or maybe just check your internet. Okay, brilliant. Oh, more people joining in. Hello, Catherine. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so fantastic. If there's sound going on, that's brilliant, so we can carry on. Catherine also knows sound. Oh dear, this is not good. Okay, let me just play around. Victoria has sound. I'm going to take it It might be an internet connection in South Africa. We are dealing with those undersea cables that do still have issues. So let's leave the sound aside. I'm hoping that it's recording. So if you don't have sound, remember I do upload these videos to my YouTube channel. So you're very free to go and watch it as soon as I've uploaded it to there. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to carry on then and not stop the live completely and start from scratch. Oh, more people coming in. Hi, Ansa. Hope you're well. And Victoria Indigo. Fantastic. Yeah, Daniel is saying try headphones. I'm not going to do headphones because the microphone's obviously in my phone. Perhaps, Yolanda, you can try some headphones, or Catherine, I'm not sure. Oh, Anastasia from the UK. Okay. Yes, people are getting sound. Definitely the sound's pulling through slowly. So let's recap then. Part 1 was the why. Part 2 was to how to stop the bleeding. And that is literally by trying to decrease the toxins. We're living very different lives now. So basically, yeah, it's making conscious decisions every single day on a daily basis that is going to assist your body to naturally detox from all these chemicals we either putting onto our skin, that we're breathing in through the air, or that we're putting into our mouths with the food that we eat on a daily basis. Okay, so even if you're eating organically and you've switched to natural products in your home, there most certainly will still be some toxins around. We are unfortunately living in quite a toxic world. So this is not something you can do once off. It's sort of more a lifestyle. And if you remember from my part 1, it is very much about commitment, because everything you do on a daily basis is either going to boost your gut health and your microbiome and your immune system, or you are going to you're going to break them down. All right, so that was parts 1 and 2. And then in part 3, we started talking about what these toxins are specifically in the cleaning chemicals we use at home, and besides that in the foods that we're consuming on a daily basis. So ready-made meals with all those preservatives in there. Preservatives are in there to kill bacteria, so they're going to do the same to you. All those antibacterial hand washes, actually not great for you. Soap is really good at removing the bad noo-noos, okay? And you don't need the sterilizing stuff in your hands unless, of course, you're working in a hospital and you're going to do an operation. Then it's a completely different story, right? But we need the good bacteria on our hands, because if we do get hurt, they're there to help assist and prevent the bad guys from actually... Oh, more people coming in. Hello, Anna. Hello, Herman. Yeah, Daniel's saying it's not you, Yolandi. Maybe it's Yolandi's internet. It's not you. Yes, I agree. We need the good guys on our hands as well. So let's think today, why do we think we've got compromised guts, and why has probiotics become the it word in the industry? There's a very good reason for that. Because everything we're doing at the moment with all these toxins that I've talked about in parts 1, 2, and 3, which, by the way, you can go and recap on my YouTube channel, we are breaking down our gut bacteria, and they are absolutely beneficial. They need to be there. They help you digest your food. They send signals to your brain which make you feel good, okay? And also they warn your brain when something has gone wrong and you, for instance, got in a food pathogen and it's going to try and evacuate, sometimes from both sides, okay? These gut bacteria are crucial to your immune system and your mood. More than 95% of your serotonin is actually produced and stored in your gut area. So if you've got a compromised gut, be very sure that your mood is not going to be as good as it could be on a daily basis, okay? Also, your immune system is going to be affected, because the largest part of your immune system, which comprises many organs and many areas in your body, the largest part of that actually sits in your gut. Okay, so why do you think you have a compromised gut? Be sure if you've taken antibiotics, a round of antibiotics in the last month, 2 to 3, and you're not someone that is consuming fermented foods on a daily basis, and if you're not someone that works in the garden who keeps on exposing their body again and reintroducing microbes from the environment, be sure your gut is definitely affected. Okay, so there's number 1. If you are a regular user of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, the side effects, remember I showed you that paper last week, it was as long as my arm, and one of them that's there really in bold, only one of those has the ability to increase your gut permeability, which means those proteins of your food that are not completely digested are going to go straight into your bloodstream, and your blood and your body is then going to see that as invaders, viruses and bacteria, and it's going to make antibodies and start attacking the food, the very nourishment that your body actually needs to live. Basically, I can see I've got a poor network connection. My network is available again, so I'm hoping the video is not too messed up. Our sea cables in Cape Town are really messing with us today, aren't they? But basically, if you're experiencing any of those symptoms and you, for instance, eat something and you get a headache or you get a stomach ache every single time you're eating something, please note that is your body telling you that it doesn't like that food, okay? And it probably means that you are developing food sensitivities because of a leaky gut situation. All right, so with all that aside, if you're experiencing any of that, where do you start? First thing, always, stress, unfortunately, is one of the biggest factors that causes leaky gut, okay? And stress is something we're gonna treat in a completely different series or talk or webinar, because that obviously is very encompassing in itself. But the second biggest thing that actually causes all these conditions is leaky gut, okay? And what can you do, baby steps, to start to heal your gut? Unfortunately, it is elimination diet, okay? Something like that to me is second nature because I've now grown accustomed to it, and I've actually experienced the power of doing an elimination diet, because basically what happens is your body then heals, or your gut gets time to restabilize, and then because you've cut out certain foods for a certain period of time, your body reacts quite heavily to them when you reintroduce them if your body doesn't like them. Okay, so you're going to have to really get in tune with yourself, okay? You're going to have to start listening to that body of yours, okay? So what does an elimination diet entail? It literally means I prefer 5 weeks because that gives a good, if you're already sitting with a really compromised gut, 5 weeks is good. Most people do 3, works really well, especially if you're not that far along with that many symptoms. It's 21 days. And you might think, oh my goodness, that's forever. If you don't start, 21 days from now, you're going to be 21 days older, and you're going to sit with exactly the same symptoms that you're sitting with now. Generally feeling a little bit pooish, always being bloated, a little bit sad, that general feeling of malaise. That's what's going to happen. And if you have that today and you don't start, and you're not committed, 21 days from now, you're going to be in the same boat. So what do you need to do? You need to cut out the foods that are highly inflammatory, okay? It doesn't mean you'll never be able to eat them again, not at all. It's just you're allowing your body to start stabilizing the gut and start healing, okay? And then from there, brilliant. Oh, Michelle has just joined, fantastic. Hello, she has sound, great. We have established it's the South African internet going a little bit wonky, Michelle, but thank you for letting me know. Okay, so the highly inflammatory foods. Obviously at the top of the list, which is one of my very bad ones, gluten and wheat in cereals. Second one, dairy, highly inflammatory. Caffeine. So yes, Tanya, that 5th cup of coffee you're going to want at lunchtime, probably not a good idea. Refined sugars, no surprises there really, because they actually make the wrong bacteria in your gut overgrow. Soy, because everything is GMO, we almost don't get non-GMO soy anymore. Corn. For the same reason, we don't get corn that is non-GMO in South Africa. Doesn't exist, okay? Eggs is highly inflammatory as well. Most people don't know that, and I can tell you my experience of what eggs do to me. I have not been able to add them back into my diet, but it's one of those that I actually didn't know was causing me any harm. Peanuts and tree nuts, a lot of people have sensitivities towards those, and shellfish. Also think alcohol and vegetable oils, because most of our vegetable oils, the canola, which is actually rapeseed oil, soy oil, all those kind of things, those vegetable oils that you buy off the shelf are usually combinations, and they contain quite a few other things in there that we don't know about. So that is a very long list. I'll perhaps put them in the comment section as well, because you literally need to just go through your 21 days, cutting those out. And then how the elimination works is you've got to have a very strict food diary, because you think you're going to remember what you ate 3 days ago, but I promise you don't. And in my instance, this was very relevant because I only start reacting or have a negative side effect from eggs 2 to 3 days after I've eaten them. And then you're not going to remember that you've had some kind of baked good that had eggs in them. Okay, so literally writing down exactly what you're eating, okay, in those 3 weeks, and start cutting out those very inflammatory foods. And that's going to give your gut time to heal. Okay, and then at what stage you start putting these back in? After 3 weeks, you can start. And how you would do that is one at a time, and you need to allow yourself 3 to 4 days before you introduce the next one. What are you looking out for? Say, for instance, you then eat a slice of bread, you get an instant bloating and a little bit of a stomach cramp. Your body's telling you you're not coping with the gluten. Okay, that means you need to cut it out for quite a long time, probably a year, before you can reintroduce it again. Say, for instance, like with egg with me, 3 days afterwards, I get these like burning sensation, like little knives sticking on the insides of my intestines as I can feel things moving through me, okay? 3 days afterwards, who would have thought? Okay, so those are things you're looking out for. Headaches. Headaches are a very clear sign. Skin conditions, all right, those just take quite a while to actually present themselves. So that's a little bit of a difficult one. Picking up weight, guys, do you understand that if you go to bed at night and you weigh yourself and you physically pick up 700 to 800 grams by the next morning, instead of losing that because, hey, you are going to relieve your bladder in the morning when you wake up, if you've actually picked up weight, it actually means you've become inflamed because the inflammation puts weight on, right? And that's a very clear sign that whatever you ate yesterday or the day before was not supposed to go into your body. Okay, so if you need a little bit more clarity on what an elimination diet is about, you can definitely pop me a comment. I'll get into touch with you so I can tell you good references and good labs that can help you with these things if, to test your blood if you want to go the scientific route. But just doing a plain elimination diet with those inflammatory foods cut out is definitely going to give you a very, very good start. All right, so Victoria's saying, but can we still eat gluten-free bread while doing the elimination? My answer to you is just check out, because most gluten-free breads have also got egg in them, and they've also got corn in them, and they've also got soy in them. So if you can do a bread without those, go for it. If you can't find a bread like that, probably not a good idea, because remember, you're trying to cut out all the inflammatory foods, okay? And then basically from there, start see how you're feeling. And next week, as you start with your process now, thinking what you're going to eat, next week we'll talk about products that you can add that can basically support your body. All right, we'll talk supplements, those kind of things. Very good links and references that you can go and look at for more information. But more importantly than that is the products that we can add. And think here, start going and do some research about probiotics, aloe vera, intermittent fasting. Those are the kind of things that we are going to be talking about. But I know everyone jumps on the bandwagon and says you've got to get in probiotics. And this is something I would like to address with you guys next week, because it's not always the best solution for everyone, especially if you've got SIBO, which is a small intestine bacterial overgrowth, because then you are going to actually cause more fermentation in your small intestine, which is a lot more bloating and a lot more pain. But besides that, if you're going to be cutting out a lot of meat and eating a lot more, I've got to go and just eat plant-based, it might not be the best way for you to start an elimination diet, because plant-based also means additional fermentation of fiber, which is what your bacteria eat, in your small intestine. So I think I'll probably address that in a little bit more detail next week. If there were any questions specifically to today, please put them in the comments. I'm going to put a list of the highly inflammatory foods in the comments too. And I hope to see you all again next week, Thursday. Thank you for joining in. And apologies for the South African internet there. If you didn't catch it all, I'm going to put in my YouTube link in the comments as well, and go and catch or recap on my YouTube channel in the playlist for Healthy Gut, Healthy You. Cheerio.